night. Why do you fight with eyes and beeline to save my world? Disguise your sorrow and smile when soul hurts. You never when you
光に向かって一歩でも進もうとしている限り、人間の魂が真に敗北することなど断じてない。
Wishing to hold your hand again. I wanna sing a song for you someday.
Hey guys, ValiantStyle here, and today I'm bringing you a Mika theory, kind of like what this YouTuber asked me about a while ago, leaving a picture up right here. Sorry, I know it's late as hell, but better late than never, right? But I sincerely apologize, getting to it right now. Anyways, let's get started. So today's Mika theory is, not only do I believe Mika will be a lot stronger once he fully accepts his vampire self and actually tries, but I also believe Mika, in seeing you going through his transformation in, so far, according to the manga at least, you is looking like he's going to become this angel, demon, vampire hybrid that will basically be the main character of this and be OP as hell eventually. But in order to protect you from himself, or protect others from you, or protect you from others that want to use that power for the wrong purposes, I feel like Mika will go out and become even stronger himself by actually becoming the first vampire to use a demon sword. Now, the reason why I say this is because there's a little bit of the narrative already there where Mika will easily sit there and be ready to protect you from anybody and everybody, while also understanding that his power could easily hurt anybody else, so he has to be ready to actually peacefully defend against you as well, while not, so that way he doesn't hurt him, because you is still Mika's only family in his mind, while still protecting the others, while recognizing that you sees them as family and respecting that, at least until the story changes where probably Mika becomes friends with everybody else within the group. Now, another thing too that helps supports this is the vampiric sword, which we really don't have a lot of information about, which hopefully we will here in 2018. Because that's something that seems very out of place for the vampires to have, because while they have swords, these swords can basically also drink their blood and become stronger. They also, the blade itself within the sword becomes a blood red, showing that it's absorbed this power. So it shows that it does become stronger. But why does it become stronger? And why does it only take a command to drink blood to do this? Is it a magic spell? Because we've already learned through the manga that they have these special rings that actually protect them from the sun, which shows that they are true vampires instead of just they're all daywalkers like some people used to think. So what does this mean about some of their other weapons? Are their uniforms more so specified for essentially what they're supposed to be doing, their hierarchy, or there's some spells placed on them, just like the little rings they actually had on them to protect them from the sun? Is it also the same way with swords, or are the swords similarly made to the demon swords, which would be an interesting plot point to continue from? Because if they are made similarly to how the demon swords work, Mika theoretically could end up becoming the first vampire in using a demon blade sword, maybe even one of the black demon class. Because if you go back in the episode, I haven't read this part in the manga, but there seemed to be some other weapon slots when you and everybody else went to go grab their weapons. So there is reason enough to believe that there probably is another sword up there that Mika could use that also is possessed by a demon, making him even stronger. And given the fact that demons are just essentially angry vampire spirits, I guess it's one of those things where, like, fight fire with fire is how they originally thought about it, but they just made fire hotter, I guess. I don't know. So that part's still a little bit weird in my mind. It's like, okay, vampire became a demon and a demon beats vampire. A little bit weird, but hey, you know, we've had werewolves versus vampires and they basically like negate the hell out of each other, like fire and water to an extent. But moving on from that, if Mika was to get a demon blade, even one on the level of the Black Demon series, then that would just change the game altogether. Because as it already stands, from this last chapter, or I should say the last two chapters, we've already seen the group will basically be facing 5th prognators on up. And we don't even know if, like, the prognators that they took out were, like, the only ones, especially now, considering that, oh, well, if one goes down, the others just get promoted. So does that mean another prognator is already made, or somebody strong enough to take that place? Or how does that work? Because we don't know, again, about their hierarchy and how exactly that works within the vampire order. All we know is that they do have one, and with other images within it, you see that there is 3 other vampires that were there with the original vampire, or I guess in this case would be the first prognator, who we also learned is the main demon that controls the Hiragi family that everybody has been talking about when it comes to, like, the Hiragi family is possessed by evil or something like that. To where there's so much information that can be helped by just clearing up some things. Like, are there other vampires that are out there? Are there other retired prognators that's like, I want nothing to do with the Vampire Council. I'm just going to live out my days now here ever since the world ended in this villa with, like, these humans, then I'll just drink my blood and do what I want to do. So when we learn a little bit more about that, we'll probably have a little more solid understanding in basically what you and everybody else has to fight going forward. Luckily enough, as long as things continue on the narrative that they're going, you have a 13th prognator in Crowley, a 7th prognator in Freed, and more than likely they will save Cruel, a 3rd prognator in Cruel. So you have 3 vampires, 10 humans, because you have Gurren's team, Yu's team. Oh wait, 4 vampires, because I forgot. I keep forgetting that Mika's full-blooded vampire now. Sorry guys, I do keep randomly forgetting that. I don't know why. But anyways, with that, we'll have a better understanding of this, and that way we'll be able to see what kind of power swing we could be looking for. But just seeing the power gap between 7 and below in Freed's fight with Gurren, and Gurren possibly being one of the strongest humans in the demon army there is, or at least 2nd or 3rd strongest, and how badly he got beat by Freed, that alone could be enough for Mika to want to get stronger in order to fight, because Mika will be fighting alongside you and everybody else against these stronger prognators, like a 5th prognator and up. So what does Mika need to do in order to make sure that he's able to possibly take these matches one-on-one, even if it's as a distraction? That would be to take control of a demon blade, or demon weapon at the very least. Because you don't know, they might just throw us for a loop and say, hey Mika, here's a demon axe. Your axe is a demon, or your axe has a demon in it. Or possibly a different type of blade, different daggers maybe, something along those lines. That could be a curve. If not, it'd probably be the exact same sword that he has on him, almost like a cutlass, but of course it's possessed by a demon. And I feel like Mika would probably have a little bit of an easier time by understanding what the basic of a vampire is, and then them becoming a demon and understanding that process through Cruel's teachings. Because you do know that Cruel has taught Mika a lot of different things about the vampire world and a lot of other things based on what she was looking for and what she was planning. So with that knowledge and armed with that knowledge, I feel like Mika would be able to easily master well, I take the easy part back. I feel like he definitely would be able to master a demon blade or demon possessed weapon. And on top of that, you have you beside you who, just speaking on how the writing works, more than likely somehow figured out a way to dive into Mika's subconsciousness and help him subdue the demon to where the demon will work with Mika. That is still a possibility too. That would also be kind of cool to see, but also a little bit bullcrappy, but understandable based on how Yu was able to do some of these other things rather easily himself. But I don't know, guys, what do you think about all this? Leave a comment below if you agree with this theory, if it's plausible, if you'd like to see it, or tell me if it's utter crap, or you don't think it'll work, why it won't work, and along those lines, guys. You know how it is here, freedom of speech. All I ask is that we keep it polite and no flame wars. And like always, guys, until next time, I'll see you.
光に向かって一歩でも進もうとしている限り、人間の魂が真に敗北することなど断じてない。何よ、こんな言葉を知ってるか。さらに向こうへ。うるせえ。